Alright, it's August 3rd, 2021. It's a day that's unique. It's supposed to be anyway, not that I'm enjoying it. Based on this 20th century. So now on the TV and the news media comes, New York NYAG, which finds Governor Cuomo sexually harassed multiple women. Oh, this is live on CNN. Now, here's the thing. There's a really hard thing for Governor Cuomo to explain because he's acting as a governor in a state that is under attack and he's just sitting by doing not a fucking thing and pretending he's running the show. That's a problem. Secondly, there's top secret shit that goes on for national security. There's differences that are involved. The party that's been injured is now a minority, which would be myself. And so I'm trying to protect my heraldry, my ancestry, and so on and so forth. The only way for the top secret department of one family that's been rocked apart, which leads to further degradation of so many serious things that you don't want to come public, you don't want to have discovered research, you don't want getting out into an uncontrollable mass. How do you explain this top secret case to protect someone's identity who has no choice but to come forward because they're physically being beaten, they're physically being raped, they are physically being torn from where they need to be, and they've got management in these really respectful, like, whatever, and groups that don't want to do a fucking thing because they taught themselves how to read, write, all wrong, and misinterpret everything. Lazy bunch of fucking shits. So what you do is you explain the top secret case as if it's a fucking woman. So now if she looks at you with her eyes, eye to eye, and she said something, what type of violation would that be if you just go ahead and totally ignore it? If she was totally clothed on a top secret case and file and separate mission, and you shitbag got into some governor position with some, like, I don't know, power and control, and you touched the file and caused further problems, would that be okay to say that maybe, like, you unzipped her blouse and, like, actually physically went in to grab her breast to say, like, well, would that be okay if you physically did that in her company and she's an employee of the state? Would that be all right? No, it wouldn't. So then why the fuck do you think that a governor should go into someone's personal genetic file and start rummaging around for leads and for political campaign purposes, which then causes an even bigger tear, not only in society, but globally? I'm just curious. Because that's what this actually means. Did he physically grope me? No. Did he touch my very expensive mistake and my file? Yeah. Was it purposeful? It feels that way. And should he have been given any permission to do so? Absolutely fucking not. I need Nicklaus and myself. For some reason, Cuomo sat around while I was being fucking pushed down a Roman concourse right into fucking danger and didn't do a fucking thing. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. That's how real shit gets done. Assholes can't fucking explain to the public what the fuck you're up to, like some stupid shits.
Created the conditions that allowed the sexual harassment and retaliation to occur and to persist. As the Attorney General has said, we reached these findings and conclusions after a thorough and independent investigation. We were allowed to, and did, follow the facts.
Well,
without
isn't
fear,
that nice for you?
without favor.
I haven't been so
In the
fucking
report,
lucky.
Our findings are supported by extensive evidence that includes interviews and testimony from 179 witnesses and review of tens of thousands of documents. I'll now turn it over to my colleague, Ann
This
Clark,
is supposedly
to
the
walk through some
governor of New
specifics
York, or the
related to
acting
sexual
person in
harassment,
the United States, the
policy
U.S.A,
violations,
for as long as I can remember. I have no idea how the hell he got there. I think I might have voted for him once. That doesn't mean that he gets to stay in there. And there's no platform that he ran on.
On many occasions, engaged in sex-based harassing conduct and conversations.
And let me just say, NYAG law firm Jun Kim, he spoke the professional male version of investigative services. This poor woman is coming forward with the more delicate subject matter of how you parallel dimension but still process, because it should not take this long for what's actually at stake. Genetic health and safety and welfare of the people are at stake. You've already been convicted of heresy 2 generations in a row, and now it quickens and hastens the pace as more people start to research, find out, and totally ignore the process of what needs to get done, and fucking fast. It's like saying, oh no, I see you bleeding through your nose and your eyes, but like, I'm just gonna wait it out. Right, but you're gonna bleed out through your nose and mouth next if you don't fucking get me some oxygen. And none of that's happened. 43 years waiting for something I was born for, which is a very special marriage to a very special man somewhere in the world.
He engaged in this conduct.
Instead, I got Jason Peter Romer, 1976, and Anthony Teofrio, 1975, and a Governor fucking Cuomo, and so a couple of shitbag New York City mayors. I got a Louis Cattaruzza, fucking piece of shit. Didn't do a fucking thing for my safety.
In the executive mansion, the governor hugged executive assistant number 1.
How important is it? It's executive mansion important.
This was the culmination of a pattern of inappropriate sexual conduct, including numerous close and intimate hugs, where the governor held her.
Where you find out the answers, and then you totally turn a blind eye to why you were originally roped into that subset of circumstances, and then you use what you learned to take course of action in an alternate fashion from what was needed, that you learned that certain type of knowledge that the public doesn't have access to. That's what she's talking about. So I'm sorry for her that she has to come out in public. I thank her for her courage, but it's an absolutely disgusting display meant to embarrass the fuck out of the governor, because he's the only fucking, that's the only recourse they have. I would have fucking executed him in Gracie's mansion years ago if he really wasn't fucking playing ball and like hurrying the fuck up. It's a simple fucking thing. I need to be married properly. End of fucking story. I'm Russian, I'm American, doesn't fucking matter. I'm in a fucking dirt hole, and it's a big fucking abyss.
Her held her so closely that her breasts were pressed against his body, and he sometimes ran his hands up and down her back while he did so.
This is how disgusting, if he was in my physical presence, what it would sound like. I don't even like listening to this. This is so fucking gross.
Take these violations, as she put it, to the grave. She was terrified that if she spoke out, she would lose her
I
job.
did take it to the grave, to Pine Lawn and National Cemetery yesterday.
When she heard the governor on
Fucking
March 3rd,
shitbags.
2021, in his press conference, claim that he had never touched anyone inappropriately.
Right. Not
Jen
physically.
and her coworkers
You just, in a parallel dimension, in an actual mythology, learned of because of your public office. You learned private info that the public doesn't have access to, and you acted in accordance with nobody fucking knows what to cause further damage to the top secret department, law firm, and the person who's getting fucking hurt. And who was born wounded to begin with. You disgusting fucking humans.